loves, I'm Tia, and thanks for joining TT's Urban Pantry. So today I was trying to do a midweek project. I like doing little projects and stuff. And I was like, what can I do? What can I do that's quick, but I know my family's gonna like it. I don't really have to do any experimenting. And certain things I'm kind of reserving for the fall. Like I want to make some spiced tomato soup and a couple other things, but I'm holding off on those right now. So I was looking at my ball book and I saw this for a spicy Creole sauce. And we have made this before and loved it. And I know that we're running low down in the pantry, so I made some more. I kind of jumped the gun. I wanted to get a video of all the ingredients mixed in there before I started adding my spices, but I got a little bit excited and I've already added in my balsamic vinegar. But before that, I don't know if you can see, it was just a vibrant red color. It looked like salsa. It looked like salsa, but once I put the vinegar in, it did darken in color, so it doesn't have the same effect that I really wanted. But I am making Creole sauce today, and I will tell you what's in it first, and then I'll tell you what we use it for. So, of course, I've doubled my recipe. It's in the Ball Blue Book, and it's called the Spicy Creole Sauce. And for one recipe, it says it yields 4 pints or 2 quarts. And it calls for 3 quarts of diced tomatoes, 1.5 cups of onions, diced onions, 1 cup of diced red pepper, 3 Anaheim peppers, 3 garlic cloves, minced oregano, excuse me, minced thyme, minced parsley, 3/4 cup of balsamic vinegar, 3 cloves of garlic, paprika, and black pepper. So I like to modify mine. So the recipe I have put in double, so there's actually 6 quarts of tomatoes in here. And what I did was I had fresh vine-ripe tomatoes, and I went ahead and cleaned them, peeled them, and diced them up. And I just used my quart jars as a measure. I greatly underestimated that, so then I just went down to the basement and got some of the diced tomatoes that I had already prepared. That's the good thing of having them on hand. And then I have 1 Anaheim, 4 Habanero peppers, and then I got some of those Serrano peppers that we had pickled up a while ago. If you need to know how to do that, I did a video. I think it's called Easy and Delicious Pickled Peppers. But I did Serrano, jalapenos, and another kind. So all I did was grab some of these because this is why we make them, so we don't have to go anywhere. And let me tell you, they were so good. I took a bite of one. It was hot, it was spicy, but it was so good. I put 5 of those in here. So we have a combination of them all. I did only put in 3/4 cup of the balsamic vinegar. I did not double that. I can only take so much, so the less the better. I have not seasoned this yet, and I am going to use my electric hand blender to mix it all in because we want not so big ingredients. It's looking good, and I'll make a couple more passes as we go along. So a Creole sauce, what we use it for is like a garnish. If you've ever had Southern chow chow, it's kind of like the same thing. If you want to spice up your greens, cabbage, green beans, cornbread, but you don't want to use hot sauce. I like hot sauce, but I have a texture thing. So I don't put hot sauce on everything, but I want that heat. I love the Creole sauce because I can take a little teaspoon and just put that on there. It's enough heat to give you what you want that added complexity to your greens or your cabbage or your green beans or whatever it is. I will usually can these in the half pint jars, the wide mouth half pint jars. And what I do is I get the biggest, fattest shrimp I can find. And I saute those up in the skillet with some butter. And right before they're almost done, I will add in that whole pint of the Creole sauce and let the Creole sauce come up to temperature and finish cooking those shrimp. And then I'll just make a bowl of rice or something and pour that shrimp and that Creole sauce right on top of it. Get some cornbread, and that's all you need. And it's quick and easy. It's shrimp, it's rice, cornbread, but I usually don't make it, I buy it. But it's delicious, and a little bit goes a long way. So by me doubling this recipe, I know that it's gonna last for a while. We're not gonna run out in a month or something like that. So I'm liking the consistency, but there are still a lot of big chunks in here. So I'm gonna have to get those down. But see, that needs to be chopped. Gonna season it. I'm not using Ball's recommendations for seasoning. I'm using my own. I have here Flavorgod Garlic Lovers and Flavorgod Cajun Lovers. And I just have some pink Himalayan salt. And we'll take it from there. We'll taste it and see how we like it. I like the Flavorgod because there's no artificial flavorings in here. They're all natural. So for this Garlic Lovers, it's garlic, onion, sea salt, California chili pepper powder, basil leaves, black pepper, coriander powder, parsley, and thyme. Some of the same things that this says, but we're adding the garlic to it because I'm putting garlic in it, of course. Then the Cajun, garlic, paprika, onion, sea salt, cayenne pepper, California chili pepper, black pepper, oregano, and thyme. So I'm gonna hold off on the salt for right now. Let's see what we come out with this. And I also have my heat on high. It does need to boil for at least 5 minutes before we move on to the canning process. This is a pressure canner recipe. It's tomato based, and we're not adding any citric acid, so we need to pressure can this. Can you see this dog? The heat immediately jumps out at you, but it's not so much to where you need to cool it down. I need some water or something. It's just a big punch of heat. And then I do taste the vinegar, but not that much. It's slight. I don't taste any salt, so I want some salt. So I have mixed this again with a hand blender, and I'm liking the consistency now. A little chunky, but not too chunky. Because I did use the hand blender, it did release a lot of air bubbles into here. So I did skim off some of the foam. It was a lot more than this. I also added in about 3 tablespoons of salt. This is boiling, so we will let it boil for another couple of minutes. That's perfect. It's perfect. I can taste the tomatoes. I taste garlic. I taste the peppers. But it's not like, bam, peppers. It's subtle. It's enough heat. It's really good. You can put this over some shrimp or even some salmon. I'm thinking some salmon. All right, so we're gonna let this boil, and then I'm gonna move over to the island, get the pressure canner going so we can can this up. And let's get ready to can. So this has been boiling for about 10 minutes. I let it go a little bit longer. I have here 6 wide mouth pints. Earlier I said that I usually can them in half pints. That was not the truth. I can them in pints, pint-sized jars. And then I have these 1.5 pint jars, typically used for asparagus, but we did not like the asparagus. No, we didn't like the asparagus, so I have a bunch of these on hand. So these are 1.5 pint jars. Now, because I'm putting all of this into the pressure canner, you have to process these at the same amount of time that you would process a quart. And you would process a quart for 30 minutes. So since all of this is going into one batch, all of this is going to process for 30 minutes. If you were just doing the pint size, you would be able to get away with 25 minutes. So I have here my measuring cup that I like to have double as a scoop, a spoon, whatever you want to call it. That's what I use it for. We're going to fill our jars up to an inch headspace. I'm not sure how much I'm going to get out of here. Honestly, I'm hoping I don't have any more than a canner full. I would hate to run the canner for just 1 or 2 more. But so far, we're looking good. It smells great. Stir that up a little bit. And it's looking like I'm going to have to do 2 loads in the canner. We'll take what we get. I'm not complaining. Or you could always put, like if only 1 jar comes out, you could always put 1 into the refrigerator, which is what I did when I did vegetable broth a couple days ago. I really didn't want to run the canner again, and I immediately used it. So we just used what was in the fridge. Let's measure this. I'm working on the towel, 1, because I'm going to make a mess. It's given. But 2, these jars are hot, and I don't want them on the cold countertop and possibly run into thermal shock. That looks good. Actually, this one has a little bit much. So there we have it. So a total of 4 quarts we're putting into the canner right now. And I figure there's maybe 2 more left. So we're going to wipe our rims and get them in there. These are really hot, so be careful. These are lids, which are cleaned and ready to go. Then you put your rings on, fingertip tight. That is as tight as your fingers can take you. Don't give them an extra squeeze. Don't use a machine or anything. It's gonna come loose in the canning process, which is fine. And when I say a loose, I don't mean like they're gonna come off, but what will happen is, whereas I might put it that tight, it's just gonna kind of about that much. So I'm gonna get these in the pressure canner, put the lid on, and turn my heat up to high. Once that starts venting, we'll let it vent for 10 minutes and then put our weight on. Once the weight gauge starts rocking, then you want to start your timer. You want to do 30 minutes for a quart, or this pint and a half, and 25 minutes for a pint. If you're doing a mixed load like I am, you're going to do it to the bigger jars. Once it's been rocking for 30 minutes, we'll go ahead and take our weight off, we'll go ahead and remove our canner from the heat and let that temperature drop, that pressure drop naturally. Once the steam has been released naturally and that little nipple has gone down, then you will remove your weight. Then unlock your jar and kind of set it aside a little bit so some cool air can start getting into that pressure canner. And about 10 minutes later, you want to take it out and see your pretty jars. And here's our end product of the Spicy Creole Sauce. We ended up with a total of 6 pints and 4 pints and a half.
Thank you for watching TT's Urban Pantry. If you enjoyed this content or was able to learn anything from it, please hit like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified when new videos are uploaded. And as always, have a wonderful and blessed day.